guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're gonna stay completely away from the seasonal decor, be it fall, Halloween, Christmas, etc, etc, just because I feel like there's other stuff that we can do. So in today's video, I am actually gonna be making some bedroom decor, and it's not like random bedroom decor, I kind of have a purpose for it. So October is actually our wedding anniversary month, and I thought it would be nice to kind of do something for our bedroom to kind of reminisce on that. I also wanted to thank you guys so much for all the love that you gave my daughter on the last video. I think she did an amazing job. Anyway, you guys, if this is your first time here, welcome, and thank you guys so much for joining me. I would truly love it if you guys stuck around and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell, even if you are already subscribed and think you've hit that notification bell, make sure you hit it again, because sometimes YouTube does not like to send the notifications. I also want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Sutera, and I will tell you guys a little bit about them and then get on to the DIYs. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about the Sutera Dream Pillow. What the heck does this have to do with a DIY? Well, did you know that there's a scientific fact that if you don't use a proper pillow and get a proper amount of sleep and quality of sleep, you are not as creative as you could be? Actually, I really don't know if that's proven or not, but it could be true. All I know is that as of lately, I don't get very good sleep. I always have kinks in my back and in my neck. I have rib issues, hip issues, all these other issues. And relief is only a night rest away. So this helps in stress reduction. It helps with back, hip, and joint relief, as well as allowing you to get a restful sleep. It's also cooling memory foam. I actually have an extra vertebrae in my spine, and I have arthritis in my hip bone. I hope that this is actually going to help with that. And then it also is supposed to give you some energy boost, or a little bit of energy boost. This is completely different than the pillow that I use to sleep. So this pillow is pretty much just a pile of mush and cotton or whatever it is in it. You guys can see it has not much of a body to it. So this one is a little bit heavier, flat, but when you squeeze it, it actually gets its form right back, and it does have these little pockets right here that, depending on how you sleep, this pillow is going to conform to your body. And then it also is temperature regulating, so if you run hot or if you run cold, I tend to run a little warmer at night.
For those of you that are like me and forget to remove your makeup, or are just lazy because it's been a long day, you can actually remove the cover and it comes right out. You can wash it. I would actually put another pillowcase over that just in case, you know, just to keep it more clean. And you know, I always fall this naturally into bed because, you know, why not go to bed with a full face of makeup? Not really. So for any of you guys that are stomach sleepers, look how your arms fit into those pockets. I am not a stomach sleeper. I cannot sleep on my stomach. I sleep on my side. This is my natural sleeping position, but I toss and turn a lot from one side to the other, and I feel like you can just kind of roll over nicely and just go on to the other side. And it works too if you are a back sleeper.
A few of the things that I really like about this pillow is that it does not lose its shape and it conforms to my body. It's also helping me get a restful sleep, so I'm not tossing and turning, and it's gonna help with like the alignment of my body and help with all these physical things that I have happening. And of course, the most important thing of all is that it's going to get me nice and refreshed and creative, ready for more DIYs. If you're interested in the Sutera Dream Pillow, make sure you guys hit that link down below to get 20% off your purchase. Alright, let's get on to the DIY.
The first DIY is going to be this simple but cute candle holder, and all I'm using are 2 items from Dollar Tree. Actually, no, I'm lying, 3. So one of these black candle holders and a vase. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on there. As you guys can see, this was used in a different DIY because it's already painted. So I always love repurposing stuff. I don't ever like to buy new stuff if I know I can use what I have. So I'm going to paint this differently. I am going to be taking some tape, just wrapping the glass part because I don't want any paint or anything like that on that one. And then taking some caulking from Dollar Tree, I am going to make sure it's in the crease so that you don't see the transition, and then just all around the painted part. And taking a popsicle stick, I'm going to be, you know, kind of smoothing it out. I guess not smooth, because I do want a textured look. Once it's dry, just with the sanding block, just sand off any pieces
pieces that are kind of sticking out. And obviously it's already dry, so make sure that it's completely dry before you guys start painting. I am going to be using this Rust-Oleum textured spray paint in black. I really like this spray paint, and I'll be using it for most of the painting in this video. And then taking this wedding gold color, most appropriate for this video, I'm just going to take a small brush and just brush it kind of like in the textures of the vase. So on this one, I'm actually going to be making 2 of these signs, and it's pretty simple. These 2 signs already come how they are, with the black frame and the beads around them. They are newer to Dollar Tree. And then also some of this chalkboard like sticker paper, and these actually got from Tuesday Morning a while back, and they're just like gold sticker letters. So taking that peeling paper, I don't even know what I'm saying, it's not peeling paper, taking the chalkboard paper, I'm going to trace out the inner part of the frame and then just stick it on there, you know. You guys, bear with me please, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. So just gently or carefully place it on there. Make sure that there's like no bubbles, no air bubbles, no dust, no dirt, because you will definitely see that underneath the paper. Simply put it back into the frame and close the little tabs. So the letters that I'm using, again, they're from Tuesday Morning, and I am actually going to write out or spell out still and forever. So this is kind of like an inside thing that my husband and I have. There's this picture that we took back when we first met, and every time we look at it or we reminisce on it, we say to each other still. Like, I still feel for you what I did that day, or I still love you this much. You know, just something sweet. So I wanted to incorporate something like that into our decor. And so the next word is forever, because we kind of always say that, still and forever. So there's the backstory on that.
Cause that is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be with you always. You are my world in every place.
So I needed a little greenery, and I've told you guys that I don't always use like seasonal greenery around my house. I just love green stuff. So to make this vase, I'm going to be using 2 of these Dollar Tree bowls, and I did take the sticker off of the bottom one. So on the top one, I am going to take my hot tool, and it's very, very hot. I have burnt myself before with one of these, and it kind of hurt. So just be careful if you try this. I'm just going to take the tip and melt like the inner part of that bottom piece. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you guys can see what I'm doing. Just melt it all the way around. And as I'm going around it, I am actually also kind of taking the tip of it and smoothing over any rough edges. And then just taking a sanding block to sand down any sharp or pointy pieces that you couldn't sand down. That way you don't poke yourself or cut yourself. And then using hot glue, I will be gluing the 2 top pieces together. So end to end, I was going to use some caulking to, seal that gap, but I go ham when it comes to the caulking, and I didn't want to make this so much more complicated and put so much work into it for what it is. But as you guys can see, I did paint it with that same black textured spray paint, which I really, really like. And then just throw in some greenery. I am using some, I think these bundles are from a Walmart, and I believe they're like $2 or something like that.
Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are. It's all for you. It's all for you.
So for this wreath, I definitely wanted something still with greenery, but I didn't want to overdo it with like flowers and all that. I just wanted to keep it kind of simple. So I took one of the rings from a wreath form, just like the very outer ring, and then took some of this poly rope from Dollar Tree. I tied it, I knotted it at the very top and just started twisting it all the way around. So I twisted it twice around, and then once I went all the way back to where I started, I switched directions and went the opposite way, and I did that twice around also.
It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping, 'cause you fear the night. And days without eating.
And using some black wire from Dollar Tree just so it blends in with the wreath, I'm going to go ahead and start tying all my greenery in there. And the greenery that I'm using is stuff that I'm like reusing. So I take stuff apart to use it for another one. And then I do have these large beads that I will link down below. And so that end piece that I had, you know, kind of like when I started, I left an excess piece. I forgot to mention that. So I left that excess piece so I could put the beads on there. And I did put a little bit of wire at the tip of the rope to make it easier to go into the hole. And then I made a knot right at the top of the bead and then another top like an inch or so away from it. And that's what it's going to be hanging from. But I also did ruffle up the ends of the rope a little bit. You'll notice that when it's up, there's a mirror in between it. I was going to attach it to the wreath, but I just decided to hang it on its own, you know, just so it looks more like it's floating.
'Cause it ain't enough for two, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you.
So on this next one, I wouldn't necessarily call it a DIY because I'm going to leave this frame just how it is. For being Dollar Tree, I think it looks pretty nice and I wouldn't change a thing about it, and it goes perfectly with the look that I'm going for here with the black and the white and the lovey-dovey saying on it. So yeah, there's your there's your one idea from Dollar Tree that you don't have to change one bit. So here you guys can kind of see everything that I have going on here and how I put the layout and just how everything blends together. But I'm going to start showing you guys what I did for the frame. So for the first frame, this is a Dollar Tree 8x10 gold frame. You guys, you honestly don't have to spend $5, $6, $10, $20 on a picture frame. Dollar Tree has a lot of nice ones. And then I have this 5x7, I already took the paper out of it, and then these two taller ones that hold 3 4x6 pictures. Literally, Dollar Tree, come on. And then they have beautiful mirrors if you can actually find them. And also these little arrows were from a couple years ago that they had them with some other decor that I just took off and saved that I'm going to be using for one of the frames also. Now, for the first one that I used the gold frame with, the gold frame, I'm going to be using it for this picture. So I honestly just printed this at home. This is literal copy paper, and I didn't have to spend however much money trying to order it, you know, like at Walmart or whatever photo printing place, and then, you know, having to travel to get it. So if you have a printer, try it out, see how your picture looks. I think this actually looks pretty good. So this is a $1 piece of decor. So on this next one, again, a 5x7 Dollar Tree frame and then something I printed out. I wanted to make it kind of special and do something more meaningful to us, so I put the lyrics of our wedding day song on here. And it's also a song that we've listened to since we met, and, you know, it has gotten us through some time. So to make this, I went to my Canva editor. So I went in there to create a design. I did my custom dimensions, which is going to be 5 by 7 inches. create a new design. It's gonna, kind of bring you up here. So I'm gonna do a more in-depth explanation on this one because I know I've showed you guys before, but I kind of wanted to show you step by step what I did for this one. So I went into elements and I searched for a heart, and it gives you a ton of options whether they're free or you have to pay for. I always go for the free stuff. I do have credits to use to buy stuff, but if I can get it for free, I will. So the first option of this heart, I'm going to give you guys 3 different options. So the first one is to just get a solid color heart on here. You guys can hear Milani in the background. So just for you guys to know, our wedding song is By Your Side by Sade. I do have the song going as I'm doing this, and then I'm also going to go and find the lyrics and then copy and paste. So going back to the Add Editor, I'm going to add a subheading and then paste the lyrics on there. As you can see, it's going to take a whole bunch of space. I feel like it's funny because Milani's super quiet when I'm not talking, but as soon as I start talking, she starts doing stuff in the background. I think she does it on purpose. So you guys see how I adjusted the lyrics on there. I changed the font, and then you can also change the transparency on the heart. So that's one option. Another option is to remove that solid heart and then just find another one that's kind of like an outline, and then you can place it like where the lyrics are at, change the color, change the transparency, and then you can position it. So if you go up to position and send it backwards, so it's going to be behind the letters. That's another option that you guys can use. The option that I'm using is actually going to be a little bit harder. So I removed basically all of the lyrics, and I know the lyrics by heart. I don't really have to copy and paste. So I'm going to do individual lines. So the letters that I'm going to do, I'm going to place them basically to make the outline of the heart. And this one took a little bit of time just because I had to do different blocks of like subheadings. I really couldn't just go in there and type in all the words because even if I spaced them out, it wasn't aligning with my heart. So I took kind of like a longer way, but I really, really like this. You can totally remove the outline of the heart. As you can see, I made it really small and then I put it towards the bottom to complete that little point of the heart. I did end up leaving the outline of the heart just very faint in the background, and then I also added our wedding date. For the next one, I wanted to do the coordinates for the church where we got married at, and I'm going to be using that Dollar Tree frame and then also the arrow that I showed you guys earlier. So I went to this latlong.net website. I just Googled it to see how I could search the coordinates. I put in the name of the church that we got married at and then the location. I hit find, and then when you go to the bottom, it's going to show you like the GPS coordinates, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I just made sure to keep note of those, went back to my Canva editor, I created a design, and I'm going to do a 7x5 inch design. And you guys can see, you can pick what, inches, centimeters, or whatever you want, however you guys measure. And the spaces for the frame is 4x6. I did 5x7 just because I wanted to make sure this was gonna be big enough to go in the background. Does that make sense? Anyway, I just went ahead and entered the subheading on there, and right away I found the font that I liked. I didn't even have to search very much. So I just put it on there. You guys can go and change the spacing of the lettering. And then I also just went in there to make sure I put like the little symbols that go with the coordinates. Once that's all done, I figured out the exact size, font, etc. that I wanted. I go in there and just add a second page to this design. I copy that piece of information and then I paste it, and that way it has all the dimensions that I want, but then I input the next coordinates for like the west part of it. Does that make sense? Are you guys following? Once that's done, I did go in there and added the element of like this circle because I didn't know how to put like the degree symbol on there. And then I added the third page on the same one, and I added some font that says Where We Said I Do. So obviously the coordinates correlate to Where We Said I Do, which was the church. So now that you're all done, you can just go up there and download, and it prepares your design to print. So now we got to this Refer Friends. I am going to be putting this link down below for you guys to download. If you do use it, I don't get money, I just get credit. So if you guys do decide to use Canva, make sure you guys check that link down below. Yeah, Mama? Oh, beautiful. Milani's painting behind me. All right, so now you guys can see I'm kind of aligning it so that it's centered, you know, where the frame goes, or like inside of the frame. And I'm just going to trace it out and then cut it with my paper cutter and just put some masking tape on the back so that it doesn't fall down or it doesn't move around in the frame.
When it is freezing, I will keep you warm.
For the last frame, I'm going to be making this floating picture frame. You guys can see the tabs on there. I'll explain that in a little bit. So I'm going to take 2 of these Dollar Tree frames. I'm actually only going to use the glass from one of them and then reuse the frame for a different DIY at some point. Lani Banani, yeah. Mommy's working. All right, so you guys can see I went ahead and put the first piece of glass. I printed out another picture. Again, this is just copy paper. You can barely tell. You guys can spend the extra money on printing them at a photo place, but you know, if you don't have to, why do it? And then I placed the other piece of glass on top of that. You guys can feel free to remove the tabs and then glue the glass on there, but I'm just gonna keep it like that. And as you guys can see, it is not going anywhere. So now I had to figure out how to put everything up, and I actually had these brackets laying around somewhere for years. I am going to paint them with that same textured spray paint, and then I also had this shelf that was clearly stashed away somewhere, very dusty, so I'm just going to clean it up. I was almost going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to buy, you know, a piece of wood, but this will do. I'm just going to take my bare flat white paint and just give it a nice couple coats. I was going to say 1 coat, but no, I think I did about 2 coats. And you guys can kind of tell once I start painting how yellowish the shelf was. But yeah, just give it a nice coat. And that's pretty much it. You know, just put the brackets up and, you know, do what you do when you hang a shelf. So yeah, that's all I did. You guys can see it's not painted on the back, but it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see the back. It's going to go against the wall. And I feel like this has a very classy look, but overall, you guys know I love the farmhouse look. And even though it looks sort of like modern-ish, it still feels a little farmhouse-ish to me, at least to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I'm just going to go ahead and take my shelf and take everything and start decorating, and definitely going to clean that mirror because it is filthy. I always feel super proud of myself when I finish a project like this, especially when it's like a whole space or like a corner or something like that, because it's filled with decor, but I spent very little money on it. And I guess the trick is to just use stuff that you have. Yeah, you may have spent money on it however long ago, but in that moment, you're not spending that much money. So when I look at a wall like this and see how beautiful it looks and see that it literally cost me less than 20 bucks to achieve, definitely a proud moment. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you guys leave me a thumbs up, leave me your comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. You guys are probably as exhausted as I am after all these awesome DIYs, so let's go ahead and take a nap. Eh, who are we kidding? Milana's gonna wake up in 5 seconds anyway, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Maybe we'll take a nap.
Hold you closer so you don't feel the cold, and it's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you. I did it all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you.